Hello, I'm Carly, and I'm here with,
Aaron Baldonado.
and we're here at the Albuquerque Bullies Expo. We're just going to talk about this event, some different events that he has coming up. So, if you would like, you could introduce yourself, give us some backstory.
Okay. My name's Aaron. I fight out of Sandoval Fight System at 125 weight class. I have an upcoming fight this weekend on August 9th. I believe it's Fight World 40.
Okay,
I've been doing MMA for about 2 years. I moved out here recently to Albuquerque to start my MMA career.
nice.
Uh, just kind of a passion of mine that I wanted to do, and
Yeah.
I started it because of my dogs, honestly.
Oh,
So that's why, like I was saying, like everything kind of ties in together to get
yeah.
today. I'm a dog lover.
Yeah. That's an interesting connection. How did you start MMA because of your dogs?
It's a little bit of a long story. I used to be a police officer back in the day.
Okay.
Didn't really work out my way. Wasn't really what I wanted to do. And at the time, I had a dog named Maggie, and she had two puppies. But she ended up getting sick, and she passed away.
Okay.
So I kept those two puppies for her. And then something in the back of my head told me like I got to do better.
Yeah.
Something for me and something for like a better life for them in general.
Okay.
So I was a wrestler in high school, and I wrestled in college a little bit, so I was already kinda,
Familiar.
yeah, familiar with it. I liked competing, I liked the atmosphere, being a cop, sitting at a desk, and being told what to do just kinda really does wasn't my style, you
You
know?
need the adrenaline. You
Yeah.
need something that's going to shake things up.
Right, right, and I also thought it was, like, a waste of my talent if I
Yeah.
didn't do anything with it, like, most people, they get out of high school, and then they're just like, "Oh," and they talk about the glory days, but I'm
Mhm.
like, "I'm not trying to do that," I'm a
You want to keep
competitor
it
at heart. Yeah, I
up
wanna keep it rolling, and
for sure.
I just slowly kinda got into jujitsu, and then kinda just kept building from there.
Okay. So is jujitsu like closely tied to like MMA, or is there different styles of fighting that you can do?
Yeah, I mean, they all come together, because, with wrestling, you don't have submissions, right? So, like, when I started doing jujitsu, I would kinda get submitted a lot because I didn't know how to defend it. I had
Yeah.
really good pressure, and I was very aggressive with my wrestling, but for the jujitsu side, I didn't really know a lot.
Okay.
So when I would go and I'd go, like, roll and stuff like that, I was like, I could be better at this," but I never figured, like, jujitsu was my thing because I like it, don't get me wrong,
Okay.
but when I was wrestling with some of these jujitsu guys, I'd be like, I could just, kinda hit you in the face, I got an opening, you
That
know?
one track mind.
You're right.
You're like, oh, I have to open it up to
You're
the
right.
other parts of this too.
Right, but I was still, like I said earlier, I was still, a police officer at the time, so MMA fighting really wasn't, like, possible for me,
Okay.
like, the time wasn't really there. I mean, I had a whole life at the time, and,
Yeah.
and I kinda just was like, "Nah," put it on the back burner,
Yeah.
but then I started getting into more UFC and stuff, and then just that little ego in the back of my head was like, "Hey, you can do this,"
Like
and I
more into UFC as like a fan, and then you were
yeah,
like, ooh, I
yeah.
think I'm interested in doing
Right,
this.
because it was just like, man, I see some of the UFC guys and the way they wrestle, and I'm like, I could wrestle better than that. Like,
Girl,
I can
I could do this.
yeah, yeah, I was like, I can do this, and it wasn't as simple as that, but it
For
really
sure.
was, once I just, like, committed and
Oh,
became a part of it, but, I because I kinda got away from a lot of my passions as being a cop because I was just so confined to b going to work and being at my job,
of course.
and I just didn't like it. It was kinda depressing, honestly, and I wasn't very happy, doing it, and now just living the lifestyle of a fighter and being around good people, and I get more opportunities, and, heck, I'm on a little show right now, so it's just like, it's opened a lot of doors for me, and, I just really wanna take this as far as I can because at the time, it was that little thought in my head of like, "You can do this," but honestly, not to get too religious or whatever, but I really do believe, like, God put me here for that, and
Absolutely.
it's like I don't do this for anybody else, but I believe that God is doing this for me.
Yeah.
Like, he knew, like, this was my path to happiness and, like, living my life to the fullest, doing what I was doing, all the recognition and, because people respect you when you're a police officer, but it's kinda hard when you don't even respect yourself. You're just like, "I don't
Absolutely.
this isn't me, this isn't who I am, but
Yeah.
I'm just here because I fit in."
Yeah.
But once I started kind of, following the plan, because it wasn't easy, I had problems, I had to come over, I had a bad drug addiction, I had bad alcoholism, I was an alcoholic for a while, and, like, I lived for that, honestly, and
Yeah.
I was, like, very self-destructive, and
Yeah.
like a lot of people, you just kind of like wallow in it a little bit and
It happens. I feel
right,
like sometimes that's how you find your passion though, is that
right,
when you're at like the lowest, then you can go up, you know?
right, right.
Do you feel like the lifestyle you say of a fighter has helped with like some discipline and helping you overcome those challenges?
I think it's just made me like comfortable in my own skin again.
Okay.
Like I never really felt like I had the lack of discipline. It was just, it wasn't feasible, it wasn't possible for me,
Yeah.
because of everything else that I was doing and obviously, when I was going through my issues, bar hopping, I'd be out all night. And
Mhm.
funny enough, I got left at Revel at the event center where I'm fighting at. Like I had to sleep outside there one time, like yeah, because I was so drunk and I couldn't like find my way
You
home.
couldn't function.
I couldn't, so I literally like took my arms in my shirt and I just slept at the event center. And then a year later, I'm fighting there. So it's like,
That's a crazy 180
yeah,
to me.
yeah. So it was a big turnaround. It was a big shock, and
That's incredible. Do you like look back and you feel like proud of yourself now?
yeah, honestly, I do. Like it's like a lot of people kind of like try to undermine it and be like, oh, people talk. So it's just like, but at the end of the day, like I know I'm healthier mentally, physically, I'm more at peace than I've ever been.
That's amazing.
Like when I was a police officer, I had money, a house, a good job, a good career, a lot of respect, but I wasn't happy. I
Yeah.
was honestly miserable. And now, I don't have all those things, but
Mhm.
I kind of struggle a little bit more now, but I wouldn't trade it for anything just because I feel like mentally I've never been more calm. I've never been more at peace, because a lot of fighters can probably relate to this. There's like an inner rage,
Yeah.
that's just inside of you. And it's like you're howling at the moon for no reason, and it's like you're chasing something and you can't seem to find it, but once I really dialed in and I met my team out here, Freddie Sandoval, he's my head coach. And I appreciate him so much, so shout out to him for taking me in because I was nobody. I don't know him. I just showed up one day. I got invited to go spar. I didn't have no striking at all. I just had wrestling and that was it.
Okay.
And he saw something in me, and he's stuck around with and helped me ever since. Like with everything, with my mental. He's always checking on me, making sure I'm mentally healthy, and he's on me about my diet
Of course.
24/7. And yeah, it's hard. They have donuts in the back for us and stuff, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't. I gotta make weight. So, but yeah, and meeting my team, everybody on my team is fantastic. Everybody has healthy mindsets, and that's was kind of scary at first because you're like, ugh, I don't know, fighters and this and that and the
Something
other.
new, like completely.
Yeah, you don't know how people are gonna react, and I, gr- I've seen the whole college situation, and I've seen plenty of personalities being a cop and being an athlete, and so I've seen all spectrums of it,
Yeah.
But everybody on my team is super humble. Everybody just wants to get better, and we have a great gym, great energy over there, and we have 5 of us fighting this weekend at Fight World, so it's gonna be great.
Okay, awesome. And then do you feel like how was that process of like finding your team? Like I know you said like it almost happened by chance is what it sounds like, but were you even like, well, let me keep like looking around or kind of see if there's another fit or were you like this feels like it for me?
I was kinda like, "This is it," because
Okay.
I started with Darkhaven. I was doing jujitsu over there. They have a really good jujitsu program over there. I just showed up for open mat, and I showed up, started rolling with some guys. I told them, "Hey, like, I like MMA," and they're like, "Oh, yeah, come spar with us, come check it out," and I was like, "Alright," like,
Yeah.
might as well, like, come, F it,
Like what do I have to lose type of thing.
honestly,
Yeah.
because I had nothing to lose. I really didn't,
Yeah.
like, like I said, I lost a lot. Like I
Yeah.
lost my house. I was living in my car for a little bit, so like when Freddie met me, I was living out of my car and I still had a job and I was working, but that was my goal. Like it sounded crazy to everybody else because they were like, because I don't get me wrong, I have a family that loves me and that takes care of me. It wasn't like I was kicked to the curb or anything like that. It was a choice.
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna stay in my car and I'm gonna go and find a gym
Yeah.
and I'm gonna make this happen.
That's
And
incredible.
yeah, and here I am.
That's a lot of like perseverance and commitment, I think, to
Right.
your cause, your passion. Like that's impressive.
Right.
Cause you know, a lot of people I think it gets hard and then they're like, maybe it's not meant to be.
Right.
But you were like, no.
Yeah, I was like, "Huh, this is gonna I'm gonna make it happen,"
Yes.
And like I said earlier, like, Freddie didn't know me, right? Like, I was nobody when I showed up
Yeah.
at all, and he was just like, he just believed in me, and
Yeah.
he saw I had talent, and to have somebody believe in me finally was big for me,
Yeah.
and I feel like with man, my coach, like I said, I owe a lot of credit to him because I've seen a lot of coaches and I've seen a lot of people, and some gyms could care less. They're just like, pay me,
Yeah.
and they don't really care about your growth or
Right.
developing you, But Freddie takes the time to develop me
Yeah.
and to coach me mentally throughout the whole process,
Okay.
And it is tough at times, but like I said earlier, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's just this is the life I was meant to live.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw,
Yeah.
I love doing this. I love scrapping. I love getting in the cage, being in there. It's a great event. Being out here with all these opportunities, getting to talk to people like you,
Yeah.
So it's been great.
That's amazing. So obviously fighting is like an individual sport. Like
Right.
you're not going in there with like five other dudes fighting five other dudes. So what does that look like being on a team? Like is it more just like your guys' like mentality, like training together? Like how does that all like work?
It is an individual sport, but at the same time, it's not, because it takes a
Okay.
team. Like it really does. It takes a healthy team,
Yeah.
a positive team, because it's hard, and if you don't have that
Sure.
support from your teammates that believe in you, we say it all together, we go to war together.
Yeah.
If you lose, I lose. If
Mhm.
if you win, we win. It's that's how we treat it. Like
Okay.
we're going out there on each other's shields. We go in there like soldiers, and
Yeah.
and we got each other's back.
You're like, that's my brother. I got him.
Exactly. And I feel like uh that does help because it's like it adds a little bit of pressure, but at the end of the day, there is no pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like my team's gonna love me regardless, and I'm gonna love them regardless, whether they win, lose, get knocked out, get submitted, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a dangerous sport. It is mentally hard to deal with that loss, but it's just all part of the process, and you grow,
Yeah.
and like we always say at my gym, we don't lose, we learn.
Yeah. That's a great saying. That's really good. I'm gonna take that.
Right.
Shout out Freddie for the encouraging words.
Yeah, definitely shout out to him.
So where I almost feel like that would take like pressure off in a sense too, to know like you still have a team that's gonna be there for
Right.
you, win, lose, or draw, because it's like it is individual,
Right.
but you're like, you don't have to like hold all of that by yourself
Right.
type of thing. So I
Right.
feel like that's good too.
Yeah, and like, because when you do it by yourself, that weight does kind of
Mhm.
pressure you sometimes and it does kind of crush you. But with that team, you have that extra support and you
Yeah.
know that people believe in you, because sometimes it's hard to believe in yourself. But
Absolutely.
you're like, hey, they believe in me and that's enough.
Yeah.
If they believe I can do it, then I believe I can
You're
do it.
like, well, if they see something, it
Right.
must be there, right?
Right. Because it's not all the time when you look in the mirror and you got black eyes like I do now, and and you're like, I don't know if this is really what I want to do, but it is. And
Yeah.
it's just like you recognize, you guys work so hard together in the gym. My team trains hard, like we go
Yeah.
hard in the paint, like we really do. We do everything hard, whether it's our diet, our conditioning, or our sparring sessions. Like
Mhm.
we say nobody does what we do, and I believe that, and it's because of the mentality that we have there,
Yeah.
and the brotherhood that we have there.
Yeah.
We're all there to support each other. We bleed, we sweat, we cry together. So, like I said, we all fight together.
Absolutely. What did getting on like your team and getting like opportunities like this, like how does that come? Is it through the gym or is it like more just like you are like able to market yourself more? Like how does things like this come to you?
Luck,
Luck.
I'm like,
Is that
a lot of luck. That's why I believe, like I said earlier, God put certain people in my life to kind of help guide me.
Absolutely.
Because you can't do this alone. You can't live life by yourself, and you
No.
can't live life so secluded,
Mhm.
and that's how I was.
Yeah.
Even me speaking now, like I'm not a very outspoken person. I,
Mhm.
I kind of like to keep to myself, and
Yeah.
uh, except when I was, in my frat days, and I was kind of a party animal. So
Grant.
yeah, so
Vibe.
yeah, but you put on the mask though,
Yeah.
and you do it, but it's not really who you are. But for the most part, I like to. I don't use a lot of words. I stay kind of quiet for the most part. I didn't smile very often, but now I catch myself smiling a lot more.
That's good. I feel like that's what it's all about, right? Like the journey of life. You might go through some pitfalls, but you gotta come back up eventually.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and with my fight August 9th, win, lose or draw, doesn't matter to me. Like
Okay.
I'm here to show myself and show the world here I am,
Yeah.
and I believe that I can perform, and I believe in my skills and myself, and like I said, I don't lose, I learn, and I just
Yeah.
grow. I don't know if you're an anime person, but I got that Dragon Ball DNA in me.
But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I got that Super Saiyan DNA in me. So every time I get into a battle, I just grow. I just get stronger. And that's just all part of the process.
And then so August 9th is your next fight, and then where and what time is that gonna be at?
It's gonna be at the Revel Entertainment Center.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the time. I'm guessing around 5, 6 o'clock is usually when it opens. So around that time. But yeah, if you guys can get there early, I would get there early. I'll be one of the first fights of the night, and I don't plan on being in there very long.
Yeah.
I don't get paid by the hour, and I don't get paid at all. But
Get paid it off, but
I don't get paid at all. But
that's not what we're talking about.
yeah, but yeah, I would definitely show up, and it's gonna be a great event. Me and my team, we're all gonna walk out together. We're all gonna be there supporting each other. Like I said, we got 5 of us joining, or fighting on the same card, so it's gonna be
Okay.
great.
That's amazing. You heard it here first. Rebel, August 9th, about 5 to 6. Get there early
Yes,
and go support.
thank you. Thank you
Yes.
guys for the support. Shout out to SFS, Legion Iron Gym, Female Look, El Chino, all you guys for supporting me. I appreciate everything you guys do for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for
It's
having
nice
me.
talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you too.
Yes.